East Asian beauty standard is hopeless. My East Asian mom thinks that Taylor Swift has gotten fat ever since her Reputation album. My mom is Chinese Singaporean, so by her standard, someone like Trump would fall into the extremely fat category, and Taylor Swift post Reputation would fall under ordinary fat. Also, Taylor got tanned, which my mom does not like. Quote, "She used to look so white and skinny and beautiful. What happened to that?" End quote. And the craziest thing is, my mom is far from being alone in thinking that way in East Asia. Here, the three key standards of beauty are number 1, having white, pale skin, number 2, being skinny, and number 3, having big eyes with double eyelids, which is not hard to picture at all. Just think of Gollum from Lord of the Rings, alright? Big eyes, skinny, pale skin. Oh, sorry, I forgot there's a 4th standard, looking young. By that I mean not just young, you want to look as age-defying as possible, like a vampire. You want to be 50 years old but look 20.
38? 40?
On top of this, you gotta remember that East Asia is driven by this unapologetic culture of shame. If you gain some weight, your parents and relatives would call you out, like right in your face kind of thing. What this entails is that the pursuit of these standards can get obsessive. From beauty YouTubers who'd spend hours enlarging their eyes, making them look 3 times bigger before they go on a date, to celebrities who'd get needle injections to make their skin look whiter. So you think the current beauty trends on Western social media are already bad and toxic? Well, in East Asia, it's that but amped up by 200. So in this video, let's expose it all. First, let's talk about skin tone. If you've traveled to East Asia in summer, you might have seen a really weird practice. People put up umbrellas under the sun to shield themselves from the sunlight and thus to avoid getting tanned. A tradition my mom has carried over here living in North America. Mom, it's really sunny outside today. Want to go out?
1 second, I need to prepare.
To be fair, there's nothing wrong with wearing sunscreen or avoiding the scorching sun, which you should be doing if you don't want skin cancer. The thing is though, in East Asia, the purpose of doing all this sun protection is not so much health related, it's more about avoiding the tan. And how white is enough? Ideally, you want to be as white as snow or milk. The highest compliment one can give to someone's skin is to say something like, "Your skin is even whiter than white people." Irene from Red Velvet is widely considered to be a goddess level beauty in K-pop, even earning titles like the strongest visual of the era. According to Korean netizens, one of her most desirable beauty traits is her snow white, pale skin. In Japan, most skincare commercials will advocate for something called透明感, sense of transparency, meaning you want your skin to be so bright that it almost looks transparent. On Chinese social media, pretty much every beloved Chinese actress has offered tips on how to whiten your skin.
夏天到了，美白了，给大家做一个柠檬百香果美白酱。
是在搜寻一切有效的美白办法。第一个办法大家应该都知道，就是喝牛奶。
While things like making a facial mask or drinking milk may sound completely harmless, in some cases though, the practices become more or less questionable. For example, some celebrities have recommended using plastic food wraps to seal the whitening cream in so that it absorbs better, claiming it will boost the whitening effect.
立马涂上美白身体乳，胳膊和腿上呢再包一层保鲜膜，拆开之后就看到一整个腿都是白白滑滑嫩嫩的。
While you can argue that food wrap skincare seems bizarre, but still, what harm can they bring? At most, it may give you some acne due to suffocation, but it's not like it's gonna hurt you. Problem is, it doesn't just stop here. Someone truly committed to their skin goals may opt for the real deal, i.e., advanced treatments such as getting needle injections or even surgeries to bleach the skin. These procedures were once considered extreme and something reserved for celebrities, but in recent years they have become alarmingly accessible to the point that in every friend circle I've been in, there's always been like a friend's friend who either got it or considered getting one. Some girls even celebrate their 18th birthday by getting one of these procedures as an adulthood present. Knowing all this, knowing the length people will go to lighten their skin, things that would normally come off as bizarre to Westerners can now be explained. For example, remember Sejun from Singles Infernos, the Korean dating show on Netflix? The girl girl with tanned, darker skin compared to everyone else who was pale. I personally think Sejun is beyond gorgeous, and all my North American friends think she's really, really hot. Perhaps even the most attractive contestant of the season. But in the show, nobody picked her. All the other girls were chosen at least once, but she ended up always alone. This is because her tan skin did not align with the mainstream Korean beauty standard. The male contestants prefer girls like Suki or Soan, who have milky white skin, which by default score them higher scores on looks. As if this white skin thing isn't already messed up, let's now move on and talk about the next standard of beauty, having big puppy-like eyes with double eyelids. This shouldn't come as a surprise to anyone. We've all watched anime, we've all seen the gigantic, out of proportion eyes anime characters have. And having big eyes is not enough. You also gotta have double eyelids. It makes a huge difference according to East Asian aesthetics. Double eyelids sharpen the contours of your eyes, which makes you look more European, which is somehow more desirable. Take Skip and Loafer as an example. The main character Mitsumi has big eyes but single eyelids. In comparison, hot girl Yuzuki has those typical double eyelids like every other generic pretty anime girl. Perhaps it is for this reason that Yuzuki is perceived as a 10 out of 10 beauty in the story, whereas Mitsumi is portrayed as an ordinary looking girl. And of course, we cannot let this pass without mentioning those dramatic makeup makeovers. A makeup routine that will make your eyes bigger by 3 times. At this point, it's not makeup you need to learn, it's magician's work. And for those who have the money and resources to get plastic surgery, they do. Double eyelid surgery is incredibly popular in East Asia, so popular to the point that I'd say out of 10 girls on the streets, at least one person got it. While double eyelid surgeries are relatively safe, there's also a procedure called lateral canthoplasty. Anyways, this procedure sends me the creeps. It involves opening up the inner corners of your eyes and adjusting them to make them look bigger. A procedure adopted by celebrities, influencers, and are slowly becoming normal practices amongst the general population. As if all these aren't crazy enough, let's now move on to the last beauty standard and arguably the most questionable one, being skinny. So this is a shirt I bought in Korea last summer. You'd think this is a size small, right? Nope, this is a size large. Like the entire size system in East Asia is just in another dimension. Normally my concept of large is something like this. Also, East Asia does not like having thighs or too much curviness on the lower body. And this can be seen from the way characters are drawn in mangas. Like, do you remember any famous anime girl that has thick thighs? I can't think of any from the back of my head. Contrast this with Wonder Woman or Emma Frost or Vi, for example, who all have relatively thicker thighs, which is perceived as attractive in the West. And the reason presumably being that East Asian beauty standard does not value women having muscle or strength, as thicker thighs are associated with stronger cores, which is why a very popular concern expressed by female gym goers in East Asia is that they want to use the gym to lose weight, but they don't want to muscle up or get bulky in any way. Conclusion. Any way out? When will this madness stop? On a positive note, there has been a slight change in recent years with more voices speaking up against these toxic standards, which ironically has been filled by the no marriage, no dating sentiment. The logic being if marriage or dating isn't so important anymore, you no longer need to conform to these patriarchal standards. Yet, by and large, these standards are in no way disappearing anytime soon, at least not in the mainstream. Because when you grow up having these standards ingrained in your mind, it could be hard to disengage with it even in the absence of male gaze, which leads to the topic of internalized misogyny in East Asia that I've talked about in my second video. Feel free to check that one out. And that's it. Thanks for watching.